Hello and good morning or afternoon or wherever you are in the world. I wanted to share a little bit of this beauty and just wonderment that is the simplicity that is nature. Water is such a beautiful, wonderful toy we get to play with here. In this reality. It has many purposes. One of those being very transmuting and grounding and creating. Okay, so that's more than one. And it's just pretty awesome. And I wanted to share a little bit of my backyard and a little bit of nature that I have back here. This has been one of my more, I guess, sanctuaries of mine of late. I created this little pond. I don't know if I could get a better view. Bear here in a minute. And this is my beautiful grapevine here. And she's starting to bloom. And with everything that's going on, or say lack of going on, as people are still social distancing or under some form of lockdown, I think it's very important to create something like this. A little bit of flowing nature near you, whether it's a tiny fountain or a sled, which this is made out of, repurposed into a pond, and a pretty little fountain that I got off Amazon super cheap, and some rocks you just happen to find. This one, a local farmer gave me these. My meat guy, actually, that I buy my beef from. But I think it's very important to have something like this, because being isolated at your home or quarantined at your home, you have you to sit with you. And even though that is very beneficial, and a lot of people need to do that, if it's not balanced, can be very self-destructive. Because you go within, and if you're not asking the questions or taking a break at what is coming up and wanting you to look at it, you can get lost and a little confused at what you're looking at, because it can be very overwhelming sometimes, especially for some of us who has a little more emotional work to do than others, or whatever inner work it is. And that's why I think nature is a little important, especially something flowing as water, because it reminds you that nothing is really consistent and constant. The only thing that is constant is change. And when water is still and not moving, what happens to it? So let's take a look at our pond, for example. So let's pretend our pond is a person, and we see this pond. So the little fountain, what does the fountain provide? We'll start there first. It circulates the water, keeps it oxygenated. Let me see if I can say that again. Oxygenated. It keeps oxygen in the water. We'll just say that. Words and me don't get along so very well. And it keeps the water from getting stale and dirty and producing bacteria that isn't healthy in it. So when the water is flowing and it produces the oxygen within the water as the water is being filtered and pumped through and recycled, it keeps it oxygenated. Can't say the word. Therefore, it doesn't stay stagnant. It doesn't get gross. Oh, hey, little bird. Oh, the bird wants to say hi. Hi, bird. And it makes it available for animals to drink out of so they don't get poisoned or sick. I probably wouldn't drink out of it because, you know, it's not clean enough for humans, but for animals it's plenty clean. And it's ever flowing and changing. Anyways, so let's pretend this beautiful little pond as a person. And as we see, there's all kinds of rocks in this pond and some sticks. And they're very pretty. So we're going to pretend that these rocks are our experiences. We have some very big experiences. We've got some little experiences. We've got some experiences a little rough around the edges. We've got some pointy experiences that probably we can consider as trauma. And we have some sticks in here. And we'll just say there are paths that we're still running or still going on. So here's all of our experiences in our body. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, simple, and divine. And what do we see? We see the water around these experiences. Now, if I were to stop this fountain, and thank you, my guides are talking to me. I have one of my favorite guides with me, Alan, today. And he's very good at speaking in philosophy. And I wish I could quote him way more. Alan Watts, he's amazing, but I don't have his experience. Anyhow, so we're going to pretend that this fountain is, I'm going to say, a combination of our heart and throat chakras. And with our heart chakra, we're going to connect our emotional body with that and our physical body. So this thing really represents a few things: our throat chakra, our heart chakra, and our emotional and physical bodies. And I'm sure ego will pop up in amongst this beautiful pond too, but we're going to start with that today. So without the heart chakra, without the fountain, the throat chakra, and everything that I said it just represents, this water would become very stale, stagnant, and all these experiences, which are the rocks, would start growing algae on it. Mosquitoes would start laying their eggs in this water, and it would become very toxic to anything. And plus, I'm all about nature, but I don't like mosquitoes, so who wants parasites and mosquitoes within your body, right? So the excuse me, the fountain that represents the things that I described, if it is operating properly, and simple things is what you can get it to operate. Speaking your heart, speaking your truth and how you feel, keeps the water flowing and moving and changing. And even though these rocks, and as we call them experiences for this example, are very solid, the water over time is going to shape these rocks into something different. Not completely different. The material's still there, but the water will round off the points, change the shape of these experiences a little bit more, and for the bigger one, maybe make it a little smaller so it's not so big and it doesn't affect you or disrupt your life too much, because the water is ever changing these stones, these experiences. And even, let's just say, this little path of purpose here that we're going to use this stick for, it'll change that. It'll, depending on the water and the environment, it'll get hard and petrify over time, and that'd be a solid purpose in someone's life. Or it will start to break away and create something different, another path, another purpose. But as long as we speak our truth, speak from our heart, this fountain will always flow and always create change. Hi, beautiful bird. Look, come back to say hi again. And that's what we kind of need in our lives. Just not massive change, little things to help within ourselves. Now, on a, of course, global scale, I'm sure we need some big global changes, but we're just talking about us today, our individual little selves. And sometimes we don't need to change that much. Sometimes we like the shape of our experiences, and that's okay too, because the water isn't going to ever take that away. It just changes it into something else, something a little more beautiful. But as long as we allow the flow of our heart and our voice to share how we feel and to share our experiences, we will always have a healthy pond, a healthy body. And that's why I kind of like having a pond or a fountain of any kind around me, because it helps represent that for me. That if there's always some kind of flow, there is always an opportunity to help cleanse out my pond and hold on to what I want to, and to help lovingly change the things that affected me so much. But I wanted to share that today, and I hope that all made sense. I was just sitting out here in my little hunk of nature here with my stones, and sitting amongst the birds and the bees and the flowers, and just getting reminded by nature how simple beauty can be of nature, and how simple and wonderful change can be. I know sometimes things can be very difficult for a lot of us, especially during this time. Make you a little fountain. Put you some rocks in it. And if you want to, seek out the rocks that make you think of your experiences of your life. Why not? I also added a couple snails. I don't know if you guys can see this. If I can, I don't think it'll let me see it, but there's a little snail on my rock. And I haven't found a representation for him yet, but I'm sure I will. It'll be wonderful. I wanted to share with you my earth dragon here. That was actually a natural phenomena on this petrified wood. I figure it's iron and minerals that created that. But my earth dragon was come to remind me that sitting here amongst these simple rocks can do so much good for my energy. And sitting amongst this water is so good for my energy. Help grounding and help looking at myself without making it seem like a job. Because we're people and we're humans, and we love to do things and we love to work. But we like to not work on ourselves too. So give yourself a little bit of nature, and nature will give you a beautiful little reminder of you and how wonderful you are, and how we're really connected and how we're really the same. Because my heart chakra, my throat chakra is this fountain, and is a good representation of who I am. So thank you very much for enjoying this video with me today and watching this beautiful fountain and all her prettiness. And I'll try to put up some more about nature because it's so beautiful out today. And just summer's coming up and it's just beautiful. And I live in North Dakota, so today we don't have 30-mile-per-hour winds. Maybe another day. And you can probably hear my kids laughing in the background. No, that's also another good advice. If you have children, or if you like to go in to like a coffee shop, or just out and about in the day, go somewhere where you can hear children laugh. Even if they're not your kids. I know that sounds weird. But something about children's laughter is comforting and relaxing and brings joy to a person's heart, because it reminds you of simplicity and innocence. And sometimes we forget that's what everything is. It's innocence and simplicity. But us humans like to make things complex because we like challenges, we like puzzles. And we like to see how creative we can get trying to solve such things. So we like to create such complex things to see how simply or complexly we can solve them. Anyhow, enjoy a little bit of simplicity today. I love you all. Many blessings to you all. And so it is.